Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. First of all, got to start off the show with just saying rest in peace to Steve Braddock. Sad news yesterday about Arsenal's head groundsman who sadly passed away after a long illness. It was announced by Arsenal. And yeah, really sad news. He'd been at Arsenal since 1987. Was a groundsman at Highbury, then moved on to the Emirates. And listen, you know over the years how famed Arsenal have been for their wonderful pitches, and this guy is the guy responsible for that. He's the guy that's given us these carpets to play on, or given the players, should I say, these carpets to play on. It's really sad that he passed away. On several occasions, he was voted Groundsman of the Year, and was also, I think in 2020, entered into the Groundsman Hall of Fame. So really sad news that he passed away at the age of only 58. Rest in peace to him, and commiserations go out to his family as well. Really sad news. Moving on to the transfers, and the one big piece of news that was around yesterday was about Nicolas Pepe. Again, we've discussed it several times on the show, but David Ornstein yesterday tweeting about it, confirming the news that Nice and Arsenal are in talks over a loan move for Nicolas Pepe. It looks like now he is definitely on his way out. Mikel Arteta was even asked about it, if Pepe was going to be moving at his press conference, without actually saying, giving all the definite information on it. He certainly didn't deny it. And it was quite obvious from the things that Arteta said at his press conference that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Arsenal, which is a real shame. It's just not worked out. £72 million has just never ever lived up to the price tag. And I was discussing this with Gunnar Lee last night on the live show, that he just does not suit what Mikel Arteta's profile of player, which is he wants players that are very, very dynamic, very hard-working, as well as very skillful. And also he wants players he can trust. And I just don't think he doesn't feel he can trust Pepe. And so Pepe's going to move on. I do think he'll do well at Nice. I do think his style of play is more suited to the French game than it is to the hustle and bustle of the Premier League. So Pepe going to be on the move, and I think that will probably be the end of Pepe. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do the deal with an option to buy at the end, of say maybe a 15 to 20 million plus, or there's been suggestion 50 million plus add-ons. But certainly, we've only his contract's up in 2024. If he goes on a season-long loan with 1 year left, they'll be looking to move him on straight after that. So I don't think we'll probably see Pepe in Arsenal shirt again. Good luck to him if he does move on. I mean, so many players have left, haven't they? Arteta was asked about transfers, and his quote was, "We only want to bring in top quality through the door, and if not, it's not worth it." But Arsenal said today to be focused really on trying to bring in a wide player now. We know the Tielemans links and the central midfielder, and the fact that, they seem to have an agreement, so we're being told. But the real focus now that, Pepe's going to be leaving is on wide players. And there's several. I thought I'd take a look at some of the players that we've been linked with in that position, and then maybe I'm going to put a rating against them to see the likelihood that they could possibly come. So let me kick off with this guy, Jeremy Pino. Now, he's age 19. All of these targets have been discussed on this show. Villarreal, they've said that they're willing to sell if the price is right. They're just not in the position to turn down a big offer. There were even rumours that Arsenal put in a bid for around about £32 million, but no bid has been put in yet. Jeremy Pino would be available, but there's also many other clubs interested in him as well. But he is gettable, and he does fit the profile. He's 19. He does, everything about him just fits what Mikel Arteta is looking to do. He's really highly thought of over there in the Spanish game. And if I was to put a rating against this one, I'd say probably like a 7 out of 10. Listen, this doesn't mean we're going to get him, but of interest, I'd say 7 out of 10 from Arsenal. I think they are very interested in bringing Pino in. Won't be an easy deal, but it could be one that they could get done. The other one they've been linked with has been Cody Gakpo. Now, we know right throughout the transfer window, we've been linked with him. He's tall, he's quick, he scores a lot of goals, especially last season. The problem with Cody Gakpo is a couple of problems. Number one, still playing in the Champions League. Got the second leg of the Champions League qualifier this week against Rangers. If they win that, and they're in a good position, they drew the first game. If they win that, second leg is at PSV in Eindhoven. Would he stay maybe? Perhaps. His price skyrockets up because all of a sudden now they've got a big amount of money coming in for Cody Gakpo. And then again, it looks like if he does leave PSV, which he could, his preference is to go to Manchester United. They're very, very interested in him indeed. I'd give the Cody Gakpo a rating of about 4 out of 10. I think he's more likely, if he does leave, to go to a Manchester United. I think they'll have difficulty in getting Anthony. Ten Hag knows him, likes him. I reckon he probably would end up maybe at Man United if he leaves PSV Eindhoven. I don't think we'll see him at Arsenal. Pedro Neto of Wolves. Very interesting one. The manager doesn't want to sell. He's their manager, Bruno Lage, was talking about, adding quality to Wolves, and certainly they've brought in a lot of top quality players this summer. You know what I mean? Mateus Nunes, the latest to come in, and they brought in Guedes as well. But does that affect the position of Neto? Could they afford to let him go now that they've brought those type of players in? A very explosive, exciting player, skillful, who would suit Mikel Arteta's style of play down to the ground and would give great competition to somebody like a Saka. But I think it would be very expensive, but doable. I'd rate this one at around about 6 out of 10, although Wolves would be reluctant to sell. We've been linked with João Pedro of Watford. Definitely doable. Newcastle have been chasing him hard. They've already put in bids of £20 million plus, which have been knocked back. But a very inexperienced player, he had a little touch in the Premier League last season, in the Championship now. But there have been rumours existing that Arsenal are keeping an eye on the situation. I see it as unlikely, just too inexperienced for me. If you're bringing in someone to replace Pepe, I want to see someone's going to come in and add goals. Mikel Arteta even talked about goals as well. So I don't see the João Pedro one as likely. I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. And that's only because really it's doable. Moussa Diaby of Bayer Leverkusen would be very expensive, but a very exciting player who plays wide, scores a lot of goals. But are Arsenal going to bankroll around about £55 million plus? Now, none of these are impossible as the transfer window starts to, draw down to a close. Things can happen, but I think a very unlikely one, although I'd love to see it. I'm going to give that one a 3 out of 10, as I'm going to rate this one quite low as well. Leroy Sané, we were talking about it on the show yesterday. He's down the pecking order at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich has said they don't want to sell, but he's down the pecking order, especially with Mane coming in. He's not going to be the starter there. Could Arsenal go in with a big bid? Ex-Man City player, would be known, of course, by Arteta, would take a big bid to dislodge it. I rate it as, again, about a 3 out of 10 because they said, but these are the sort of sometimes deals at the end of the window that just get done. You would not have thought that Casemiro would be going to Arsenal. This is why you can't completely discount deals like this and say it's not going to happen, but highly unlikely. What about Ismaili Sarr of Watford? Available again, round about probably £25 million would get it done. Watford again don't really want to sell, but there have been bids for Ismaili Sarr. I think latest one was Forest were interested in him. not seeing any interest really from Arsenal, but I'm just putting it there as a doable deal. I'll probably put that as a 4 out of 10. So there's no, out of all of those, I'd say probably the Jeremy Pino one is the one that sort of stands out to me that would be the more likely that Arsenal would try and move on, unless there's another mystery name. You know, we've been hearing a lot of talk about this mystery winger that Arsenal are looking to bring in. Is it one of them, or is it somebody completely different? Zaha at Crystal Palace has got 1 year left on his contract. We were talking about that yesterday. I think at 29 will probably be too old and wouldn't really fit the profile that Arteta's looking at. And talking about right wingers, of course, yesterday Arteta talking about Bukayo Saka and saying that, you know, they're in talks with him over a new contract and hoping to get that done. They're also said to be talking to Gabriel Martinelli and Saliba about tying them down to long-term contracts as well. So that's really, really good news, tying down the top talent. So who do you think that mystery right winger is going to be? Who's going to come in to replace Pepe? Or could it be that we just put our faith into Marquinhos, who yesterday Arteta said is definitely going to be in the first team squad for the next couple of months? They're not going to be sending him out on loan. It's going to be very intriguing between now and the end of the transfer window, and we will let you know here on AFTV Transfer Daily who gets signed in that position. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out all of our excellent content on the channel and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. You never know, we might have more news.